Jurassic World Dominion had one of the best marketing campaigns with Dino Tracker. This website quickly became a fan favourite piece of media as it expanded the overall world of Jurassic in a much different way than to the last 4 pieces of canonical websites before it. Dino Tracker was something special that produced a good amount of new footage for fans who wanted to see more from this franchise and to see how humans begun to adapt to their lives now with dinosaurs scattered all over the world. However, with creating content like this came some content that unfortunately didn't make it to the final cut of this canonical website. In the making of Dino Tracker, a few pieces of artwork were shown off to give the fans a taste of what didn't make it. But today, I am here to make that happen. To turn these pieces of lost art into an imaginative scene that takes place in the Jurassic franchise. Sometime last year, we did the same thing with the other deleted scene from Dino Tracker that featured a couple of Carnotauruses in the dark. Today, we're taking this here image of the Compsognathus and turning it into a short story for you guys to let your imagination run wild. So, once you're all settled down with some snacks, it's time to tell the story of this Compsognathus from Jurassic World Dominion's Dino Tracker. The summer air was thick, heavy with humidity. As Sam Hudson stepped out onto his porch, the faint glow of a distant neighbour's barn light barely pierced the night. It was well past midnight, and his farm felt suffocatingly still. Yet, the silence was deceptive. Something was wrong. It had been for weeks now. He ran his hand over his stubbled jaw, staring out at the coop at the edge of the property. He knew what he'd find. For the last month, his chickens had been turning up dead every other day, not mauled like foxes or raccoons, but mangled in a way that made his stomach churn. Something wasn't killing for food, it was killing for sport. Sam took his shotgun from its rack inside the door. In the past, he had tried traps and cameras, but whatever it was fast, smart. It never left any evidence aside from feathers and a shredded carcass. He had lost 8 hens already, and he just couldn't afford to lose any more, not with the baby now. He glanced back at the house, where the faint cries of his newborn daughter, Ava, carried down the hallway. Laura, his wife, was likely trying to rock her back to sleep. He tightened his grip on the gun and started walking towards the chicken coop. The smell hit him first, a pungent mix of blood and feathers. When he reached the coop, the dim flashlight in his hand illuminated a scene of carnage. 3 more hens lay lifeless, their bodies torn open, heads twisted at odd angles. Feathers swirled in the faint breeze, catching the light like ghostly lit fragments. "God damn it," he muttered under his breath. He squatted down, inspecting the wounds. Tiny, sharp bite marks riddled the exposed flesh, and the entrails were half pulled from one hen as if something had been interrupted mid-meal. That's when he heard it, a faint rustling in the bushes behind the coop. His flashlight beam darted towards the sound, catching a flicker of movement. 2 glowing eyes reflected the light before vanishing. "Got you," Sam hissed. He shouldered the gun and crept slowly forward. The creature emerged, stepping into the beam of light. At first, Sam thought it was some sort of oversized lizard, but then he saw the unmistakable predatory glint in its eyes. A Compsognathus. One of those damn dinosaurs the news wouldn't shut up about. The government had promised that they were handling it. Relocation efforts, population control, all of those useless reassurances. But here it was, stalking his farm like it owned the place. "No more," Sam growled, raising the shotgun. He fired, but the compy darted into the bushes, too fast for his aim. A series of chirping barks echoed from the woods, a sound that sent chills down his spine. There were more of them. Back inside, Laura stood in the doorway, arms crossed, her face pale in the dim kitchen light. "Sam, what are you doing?" she demanded as he stomped in, loading another shell into the shotgun. "It's those damn dinosaurs," he snapped. "They've been killing the chickens. Government's too useless to clear them out, so I will do it." "You can't just kill them," Laura said, her voice raising. "They're just animals. It's not their fault that they're here." "Tell that to the chickens, or better yet, tell that to Ava when we can't afford to feed her," because those things wiped us out." Laura's lips tightened, but she said nothing. Instead, she turned back toward the hallway where Ava's cries had finally stopped. Sam sighed, guilt tugging at him, but his resolve didn't waver. The next night, Sam set up camp by the coop. He wasn't going to let the compies get away this time. He rigged motion-detecting floodlights and carried a backup pistol alongside the shotgun. Hours passed in tense silence, broken only by the occasional rustle of leaves. Then he heard it, the soft patter of claws on wood. One of the compies had climbed into the coop. He flicked on the floodlights, and chaos erupted. 5 compies scattered in all directions, their green, weary bodies darting through the beams of light. Sam fired, hitting one. It shrieked and collapsed, twitching in the dirt. The others fled into the woods, but Sam didn't pursue. He stared at the lifeless body of the compy he just shot, its small chest heaving one final breath. He should have felt triumphant, but instead he felt uneasy. Suddenly, Laura's scream shattered the uneasy quiet. Sam dropped his gun and sprinted back to the house, his heart pounding, wondering why his wife screamed like that. He had never heard her in such terror. When he finally reached the bedroom, Laura was frozen, her hands covering her mouth, tears dripping down her face. Sam followed her gaze to the baby's crib. It was empty. No, not empty. It bared a lifeless, newborn baby. Blood pooled beneath it, dark and viscous. Feathers, tiny ones, scattered around the baby's cot as if they were carried in from outside. And there, in the corner, were the compies. 4 of them, their snouts slicked with blood, tiny teeth bared as they hissed at the sudden intrusion. One had a strip of pale flesh hanging from its mouth when the other one tried to steal it, almost as if they were playing tug of war with Ava's skin. "Oh God," Laura whispered in disbelief, backing against the wall. "Oh fuck, no, no, no." Sam, with his eyes spread wide open as he witnessed the terrible horror that has unfolded in front of him, saw red. He lunged back to the front of the house, grabbing a shotgun he dropped at the door. The compies scattered, but he fired wildly, hitting 2 of them. Blood sprayed across the nursery walls. The others fled through the open window, disappearing into the night. Laura collapsed onto the floor, sobbing uncontrollably, screaming at the top of her lungs until she could pass out. Sam wanted to comfort her, but rage consumed him. He too was suffering. He grabbed his pistol and stormed outside with a look on his face that had the intent to kill. Sam tracked the compies to the edge of the woods. He found 2 more and shot them down, but not before one of them darted in and bit his ankle. The dinosaur would not let go. "Ah, fuck," he yelled, kicking it off and finishing it with a point-blank shot. He inspected the bite, thinking not much of it as he could wipe away the blood later on. He then chased after the rest of the animals in pure anger. But once he realized he strayed too far from the house, he stopped. He could have kept going, but his chest heaved and sweat began to drip down his face. The pain in his ankle was sharp, but adrenaline pushed him forward one last stride. It wasn't until he stumbled back towards the house that he noticed the numbness creeping up his leg. His steps faltered, his vision blurred. He looked back down at his bite. "Venom! Those bastards were venomous," he whispered to himself in realization. He collapsed in the yard, the pistol slipping from his hand. He could see the house, the faint outline of Laura in the bedroom window where Ava had just been found, mangled. He tried to call out, but his voice was gone. He tried to crawl forward, but he had no strength. He realized everything was useless from here on out. Then, from the shadows of the trees, something massive emerged, thudding its feet onto the ground. An Allosaurus. Its yellow eyes locked onto him, and it wasted no time grabbing his limp body in its jaws. Sam felt the crunch of bone and a searing pain on his head before his world went dark. Laura watched from the window, frozen in horror. She had seen Sam collapse just seconds ago, and now she watched as his body disappeared into the woods, dragged by something too large to even comprehend. She didn't scream, she didn't cry. She simply stood there, paralyzed, as the enormity of what had happened crushed her. In a matter of minutes, her life was changed. Her whole life was gone. In the silence that followed, only one thought repeated in her mind. They should have done something sooner. These stories are something that we as Jurassic fans can easily put together. In a deeper meaning, it also goes to show how leaders don't often tend to look after their own people and neglect those who really need their help. Not to get political, that is. I feel as though this story is something that could plausibly happen within this universe, despite the graphic detailing. I would really love to see something like this adapted to a short film for the Jurassic franchise, as this universe, honestly, would really benefit from this. Besides, if Universal doesn't want to go ahead and make something graphic or horror for this IP in fear of losing money at the box office, then what is stopping them from making something like this, with very minimal CGI, and upload it to YouTube or possibly a streaming service for fans to watch? I know millions would be really into this. But what do you guys think? Did you like the story that I created here? Is this something that you would watch? Feel free to head on down to the comments and let me know. Why not also like the video if you enjoyed, and subscribe if you are new around here. But most importantly, make sure you're all staying safe out there, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye bye. Hello, hi, you. Did you enjoy the video? Just a little reminder to press that like button and also subscribe. I just want to thank my Patreons for this month on screen right here, as giving me that little extra support really does go a long way. But anyways, I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day.